purpose of a masjid?
So Masjid-e-Nabawi Sharif played a central role in Medina Sharif, and it wasn't just a masjid where the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba Ikram would gather and offer the 5 daily prayers, but we know that along with the masjid there was the madrasa where the Ashab Sufa would study, Jalil Qadr Sahaba Ikram like Sayyiduna Bilal Habshi, Sayyidina Abu Huraira, Sayyidina Anas bin Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, and many others. Sahaba Ikram would take part in preparations for military expeditions, archery practice, even wrestling in the masjid amongst Jalil Qadr Sahaba Ikram. So if we look at it from that perspective, the role of the masjid has always been central to the community. But unfortunately, in the day and age that we live in, the role has been watered down to such an extent that the only 2 main purposes
restricted to
is number 1,
daily prayers.
The daily prayers, open the masjid 10 minutes before, close the masjid 10 minutes after, certainly now in the current climate. And then the second is a place for us all to congregate to offer the janazah prayer. And we'll come to this later, I'm sure, but now we spend more money on the preparation for the deceased than we do for the living. I.e., a lot of money goes into the funeral room and the washing facility.
I'm going to say that's valid. If we was to let's debate and discuss this. People are dying left, right, and centre in communities. Where are the Muslim funeral services? But if a masjid is offering that service, isn't this what Masjid Nabawi did? So spending that money on a fridge or on what do you call it? The actual ghusl area, on the coffins, on the kaffans, etc., and providing that facility to your local community. A lot of people, when someone dies, where's the first place you're going to turn to? The masjid. You're going to say, help me, my father's passed away, where do I go? We send the Imam, we send one of the learned people in the Jamaat, in the community, in the congregation, say, go help the brother. So you'd go to the masjid, and if the masjid doesn't have that facility, then they will go elsewhere, and it plays a huge role. So I think spending money there is productive. What I would say is the look of a masjid, for example, where we are spending, hundreds of thousands, hatta millions even potentially, on making the masajid look, very appealing and attractive. Oh, beautiful masjid, no doubt. It is appealing and attractive. But is the purpose of a masjid to be appealing and attractive on the eye, which it should be, we use the logical argument, it should be more beautiful than your homes and it should be cleaner than your homes, which 100% logically makes sense. Or is the actual purpose of a masjid that when you walk into that place, whether it's appealing or attractive or not, that you find peace and contentment and connection with Allah Jalla wa Ala? My argument would be that is the first priority. That is what we need to create, this spiritual environment within our masajid, where the doors are open for the youth, where it's not controlled by committees, it's not, just restricted to that. And the masjid has a greater purpose to achieve than just the mere Friday prayers, Eid prayers, the odd janazas, and the 5 daily prayers. We're praying in a masjid because that's the place where sajda should be done. It's the cleanest place on earth. It's the most beloved places to Allah on earth are the masajid. So, yes, we say that. But my question here is, what are we? How are we achieving the prophetic sunnah within the masajid? Listen, if a kid's wrestling with a kid in the masjid, they get shouted at. Why?
Well, the answer is simple. We're not fulfilling the prophetic sunnah as it stands.